Hey everyone, welcome back for another Deep Dive. And today we're tackling something that I think a lot of you out there are probably thinking about, especially as we all get a little bit older
Yeah.
and wiser, of course. And that is how to maximize those tax breaks when you hit the big 50.
Big 50, that's right.
Because let's face it, we're getting to that point where we got to be smart about our money, especially when it comes to retirement planning.
Absolutely. Got to make those dollars work for us. Okay.
Exactly. And we've got some great insights to share today, courtesy of Don P. Baker from the Don P. Baker Financial Group. He really knows his stuff when it comes to, well, making the most of your retirement savings.
Oh, yeah. He's the guru.
So picture this, all right. You're in your prime earning years. You're feeling good. Maybe you have a little extra cash flow.
Yeah, yeah.
And you want to make sure that you're using every advantage possible to really, supercharge that nest egg.
That's it.
One of the first things that really jumped out at me when I was doing my research were these things called catch-up contributions.
Right.
I mean, the name itself sounds exciting, right?
It does. It does.
Like, you're catching up to something.
You're getting a bonus.
Exactly. But can you break it down for us? What are these catch-up contributions and why are they such a big deal for, people our age?
All right. So catch-up contributions, it's like think of it like a bonus round for your retirement savings. All right. Once you hit that magic age of 50,
50.
you can actually contribute more to certain retirement accounts than those younger folks. So it's a fantastic way to really boost your savings.
I like it. Boost those savings.
Especially as you get closer and closer to retirement. Now, for example, let's talk about those employer-sponsored retirement plans, the 401ks, the 403bs.
The ones we all have.
Right, right. Now, in 2025, the standard contribution limit is going to be $23,500.
Okay, that's a decent chunk of change.
It is, but here's the kicker. If you're 50 or older,
Here we go.
you can add on an extra $7,500 on top of that. So that brings your total contribution limit
Wait, really?
to a whopping $31,000 per year.
Wow. That's real money. So we're talking about an extra $7,500 a year that we could potentially put away.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
That's a game changer.
It really can be, especially when you consider the magic of compounding. The earlier you can get those extra funds in there, the more time they have to grow. It's like, that snowball rolling downhill. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Gathering more snow.
Yeah, gathering more snow. The catch-up contribution is like adding an extra layer to that snowball right from the start.
I love that analogy, the snowball effect.
And the best part is, it's not just limited to your 401ks and 403bs. Traditional and Roth IRAs, those also offer a catch-up contribution.
Oh, okay.
For folks 50 and over, and it's $8,000. So you can bump up that contribution limit to $8,000 per year.
That's great. So we're talking about maxing out those contributions, but let's be real for a second.
Right.
One of the biggest worries, at least for me, when it comes to retirement, is healthcare costs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they can be a real drain, right?
They absolutely can. It's a major concern for a lot of people.
So how do we factor that in?
Well, that's where HSAs come into play.
HSA.
Health savings accounts.
Oh, okay.
They're not strictly retirement accounts, but they offer what we call a triple tax advantage.
Trippy tax advantage. That sounds pretty good.
It is. So your contributions are tax deductible.
Okay.
Your money grows tax-free.
Okay.
And then when you take it out for those qualified medical expenses, it's also tax-free.
Wow. Okay.
Now, for those 55 and older, there's a catch-up contribution on top of the regular limits. So for 2025, it's an extra $1,000 that you can put in, on top of the $4,300 for individuals and $8,550 for families.
Okay, so that's a pretty significant savings, potentially, down the road.
Oh, yeah. HSAs are a really powerful tool for managing those healthcare costs in retirement. They can help you protect your savings.
And protects, your sanity, probably, when you're dealing with all those medical bills.
Absolutely. It takes a load off your mind, for sure.
So I'm sure a lot of people listening are thinking, okay, this is all great, but what happens if I need to access that money before I actually retire?
Right.
There's always that fear of penalties.
I hear you. That's a very common concern.
So what's the deal with that?
Well, this is where things get really interesting for folks 55 and older. There's this thing called the Rule of 55.
Okay, the Rule of 55.
And it allows penalty-free withdrawals from your 401k.
Penalty-free.
Penalty-free, that's right. Now, normally, if you withdraw money from your 401k before the age of 59 and a half,
Uh-oh.
you get slapped with a 10% penalty. And then, of course, you got to pay your regular income taxes as well.
Ouch.
But with the Rule of 55, if you leave your job or, maybe you lose your job in the year you turn 55 or later,
Okay.
you can actually access those funds without that 10% penalty.
Wow, that's a relief to hear.
It is a big relief. It gives you some flexibility.
So no penalty, that's great.
That's right.
But I imagine I'd still have to pay taxes on those withdrawals.
All right. You're absolutely right. The 10% penalty is gone, but Uncle Sam still wants his share.
He always does.
Right. You still got to pay those income taxes on any distributions from your 401k. So it's really important to keep that in mind when you're doing your financial planning.
Absolutely. Always got to think about those taxes.
You got it.
So let's zoom out for a minute and talk about how all of this fits into the big picture.
The big picture.
If someone's listening to this right now, what are some key takeaways? How can they really start to use this information to their advantage?
I think the most important thing is to start planning early.
Okay.
Don't wait till the last minute and make those decisions based on your individual circumstances. Everyone's situation is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And think about gradually increasing those contributions as your income goes up.
Okay.
Especially take advantage of those catch-up contribution limits. And, if you're eligible for an HSA, definitely explore maximizing those contributions too, because that can really provide some significant benefits down the road, especially with those health plan costs.
For sure.
And remember, we've covered some important points here.
Yeah.
But talking to a financial advisor or a tax professional, they can really give you personalized guidance.
Yeah, they're the experts.
They are. They can tailor it to your needs and your goals.
Because every situation is different, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I have a friend who actually used similar strategies, and she was able to retire early
Wow.
and pursue her passion, which is photography. Now she travels all over the world,
That's awesome.
taking incredible pictures, and she even sells her work online.
That's great. Living the dream.
It's really inspiring to see how, maximizing these tax benefits can actually open up possibilities.
It's about creating a life of purpose.
Exactly, exactly.
And these financial tools, they can help you get there.
So to wrap it up, we've learned about catch-up contributions to supercharge those savings.
Right.
The Rule of 55, which gives us some flexibility if we need to access funds early.
Yeah.
And HSAs to tackle those future healthcare costs.
Right.
And all of this is really about giving us the power to create the retirement lifestyle that we want.
Exactly. That's the goal.
So here's a thought, and this is for everyone listening.
Okay.
What's one small change you can make today?
Right.
Maybe it's skipping that restaurant meal once a month,
Yeah.
or cutting back on something else and then redirecting that money towards your retirement savings.
Those little things add up.
They really do. It might surprise you how quickly it can grow.
Compounding.
That snowball effect.
Exactly.
So I want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it informative and inspiring.
Yeah, get out there and start planning.
The future is bright, and with a little bit of planning,
You got it.
we can all achieve our financial dream.
Absolutely.
See you next time.
Yep.